ready. All right, I now call the March 17th, 2016 meeting of the Madison County Board of Adjustment to order. You want to go on and call the roll, please?
Mr. Howard Bowden.
Here.
Mr. Jimmy Rogers.
Here.
Mr. Wayne Pankowski.
Here.
Mr. Paul Medius.
Here.
Mr. George Dillon.
Here. All right, our first order of business is to look at our minutes from our last meeting. I take everybody's had a chance to look at them, review them. Best of my recollection, I don't see any issues with them. If there's no questions or comments, I'll open the floor for a motion.
Motion that we approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Call roll, please.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Mr. Bowden.
Yes.
Mr. Dillon.
Yes.
Mr. Pankowski.
Yes.
Mr. Medius.
Yes.
All right, we have one item on the agenda tonight for 109 Bradley Drive with a Mr. Lee Jackson. Mr. Jackson, are you here? Mr. Jackson, you want to come to the podium up here? State your
Bring that mic around, please.
State your name and address, please.
Lee Edward Jackson, 109 Bradley Drive.
All right, Mr. Jackson, do you agree to give truthful and accurate information as it pertains to this case?
Yes, sir.
All right, continue and tell us what your conditional use request is for.
I am requesting conditional use to sell commercial pool tables all over the state of Kentucky. Pool tables and pool tables accessories. They're for commercial use, but anybody could, hoping that could come in and purchase just one and pay for shipping, stuff like that. I'm not going to have any trucks or nothing like that out there. What I'm going to do is pretty much get the orders for them and go to the factory itself where they're being built in Illinois and pick them up and bring them back to the location that's required.
You mean location required, that's where you sell them?
Yeah,
Location you sell
yeah,
'em?
yeah. That's
So it won't be brought to your house?
no, it'll never be brought to my house except for the first demonstrator model, and that's just to sit there and just be like a demonstrator model. There's going to be like a coin machine, demonstrator model, stuff like that. But I was hoping I could sell pool cues and stuff out of my house.
Now, you going to have a lot of traffic, people coming in and going?
No.
Buying
No,
food?
I don't believe so. It's mostly phone calls.
Okay, you're going to have...
That's the last sentence kind of threw me off.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's what I don't understand either, is you don't expect anybody to come to your house, but yet you're gonna have stuff at your house to sell? How are you gonna sell something if you don't have the traffic to come to your house?
A few, just very, very few.
So you don't plan on having a lucrative business if you're only gonna sell a few?
Not too lucrative, but lucrative enough where I could be in business for commercial pool halls and stuff like that.
Okay.
So you see, the bulk of your business is going to be selling these pool tables and coin machines and
Yeah.
by way of contract that the people might not even come to your place. Is that right? Or they might come to see what it looks like and then order them.
Yes. Yeah, they may come to see what it looks like and then possibly order them there or through the phone or through like a mail order.
What about the people who are buying the pool accessories?
Stuff like that would be through mail order or over the phone, or they can come in and actually pick it up from the floor if they want to. But that'd be kind of hard if they're like in Eastern Kentucky or something like that. But I just ship it to them, or I would show that I would hopefully get a website up and show them pictures and stuff like that and what they're actually buying.
So what type of traffic do you anticipate coming to the home, to your home?
Maybe 3-4 cars a week, maybe. It's not much. I mean, it's very, very low
Probably
aspects on that.
looking at like UPS as normal traffic coming in
Yeah.
and out of the neighborhood.
Yeah, just UPS, every now and then, probably very few. Maybe 3, maybe 4 times a month. But I would pick up the bulk of my supplies when I make the run to the factory myself.
So what percentage of your house is gonna be used to store this and run this business?
I would like to say a good, maybe 25%. And here's some pictures of the room. Just there, please. And of the inside and outside view of the one room that's attached to the drive.
He drives a Dodge,
I think the house had a one-car garage, and then they closed it
I
in,
don't know.
made
That's what.
Yeah,
a
made
big
it
room out of it, and I guess
Yeah.
you're taking that part of it.
Yeah.
Correct.
And that's the only part of the home that I'm taking up.
I'm just kinda curious if, excuse me for being more questions about, I always like to ask
That's
questions.
okay.
If you're not gonna have that much people come in, why have a display there?
But,
Why don't you
Tax
do it
write-off.
online?
Tax write-off, sir, and I always want one for my own. And even if like just normal people just coming in buying cues, you know, people actually play a lot and actually want a performance cue. They come in, buy a cue. They look at the table. They keep looking at the table every time they come in. And one day they might say, "Hey, well, I just want one."
Okay, so who you talk? What, are we talking a coin-operated pool table?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so people are gonna come in and why would somebody, if I've got one in my house, I don't have a coin-operated table and I don't know that I'd want one. Why would somebody buy a coin-operated pool table to put in their house? Or what kind of commercial customers aren't gonna come to your house and look at the table? I'm not understanding exactly what you're proposing.
Most people, some people would like a coin-operated pool table. Some people don't, and it's just
In
the
your
the
house?
option of choice.
In their house?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Some people would.
So you invite your friends over and charge them to play pool?
Yeah, yeah. Just invite them, just charge them to play pool or something like that,
If you
if they
didn't,
wanted to.
if you didn't have a showroom, would you still have a viable business? I mean, could you run your business without having a showroom there?
I say I could, but it would kind of be, it kind of put a little rough stop on some things, but
The reason I ask that is that,
But-
you know, you're in a residential neighborhood,
yes.
so any additional traffic is a concern. When I looked at your property, there were kids out there playing basketball, there were other kids up the street playing, you know, anytime you start introducing traffic into a residential area, it causes an issue.
Yeah.
Whether it's additional UPS, additional freight, additional people coming in just to buy, like you said, cues and that. So, question is, could you run the business without having a showroom? Could you just do mail order, drop, internet, that type of thing?
I could, yes, sir.
That's my concern.
Okay.
It's the traffic. I know that Robinsonville subdivision real well.
And it's not
Yeah.
that wide of a road, it's, you
No, it's
know,
not.
there are some concerns traffic-wise.
Are there any other businesses out there, people? Maybe somebody operating out their home is as such, but not like yours. I don't know of any of them out there.
I don't know any of what I'm trying to do myself. I know there's I think there's one in Lexington, but they have huge buildings and stuff like that. They're able to afford such things.
I think what Mr. Rogers meant, were there any other type businesses in your area that people are operating from their home?
Not that I am aware of.
Not with the conditional use permit that we know of.
Have you considered just renting a place with the proper zoning to put your business?
I have considered that, and price some prices is just very, very high on some locations, and some locations that ain't, it's already been taken. looked in other cities, Berea, Estill County, and I just I didn't like Estill County. There's a lot of locations in Estill County, but I didn't really like them that well. I just wanted to operate in my home county.
Okay. I guess one of my concerns is, it almost sounds like the way you propose it, it's, I guess like a mini one table pool hall at your house is what it sounds like to me, that I'm getting out of what you're telling me, but, if you can operate the business over the internet and without having a showroom,
Would you
No-
mostly
traffic.
sell
and no
it-
traffic at all,
Would you, since it's a coin-operated table, would you mostly be selling it to like, taverns and, bars or things like that?
Yes, sir.
Trying to get them in to see what kind of operation the coin-operated is. I would think it'd be selling that more than the household. Do you do any resurfacing of pool tables or anything like that?
I am researching on how to service pool tables. I have looked over on how to felt pool tables and looking into getting into servicing pool tables if if needed.
The other thing I have concern about what you wrote on here, you're gonna have one coin operated pool table and one coin machine. Are you gonna be playing it that much that you have to have a coin machine to change out the dollars to?
It's just to show them what kind of product it is, sir.
You're displaying coin machines too, or,
Yes, sir. If possible.
so now we're going from pool tables to coin machines?
A coin machine to the side and the pool table in the middle of the room, sir.
Okay.
If things were to take off, this repair work that you talked about, where would that be done?
Yes, sir.
Where would it be done?
So the repair.
Repair work to.
Oh,
pool
repair
tables or-
work. Oh, that would be done at a resident that wants the repairs to be done at, or at commercial locations where they need to be repaired.
Most pool tables need to be repaired about once a year. Not that I know anything about it.
Could I say
Have
one
you
thing
done-
or two when he gets done?
When he gets down.
Have you already sold some pool tables?
Oh no, sir. I have no, nothing like that. I don't have anything in my home, the home like that. I
I mean,
was
you haven't sold anything like over the internet or
no,
through a website or anything?
no. I was waiting after the decision was made.
All right, sir, do you wanna come forward and state your name and address, please?
My name's Leroy Jackson. I live at 109 Bradley Drive.
All right, Mr. Jackson, do you agree to give truthful and accurate information as it pertains to this case?
Yes, sir.
All right, continue.
I just wanted to say that the pool table and accessories and the coin machine, if possible, but the pool table and accessories for sure, but just to be a display room only. But to taverns and different bars and associations, what that would be possibly be sold to them directly more than anybody else possibly. But if somebody at home wants to buy one, that's fine, but the room would be only used for display if somebody wants to. I mean, you see something online, you really want to get a feel of it and see it yourself, and that would be the only reason for the display room, and they can come and actually look at it themselves and see what they're actually getting. If that's the only thing. I mean, there would probably be not very many at all, coming a couple times a week. I mean, vehicles would be no more than somebody coming visiting me periodically. I mean, that'd probably be the only traffic flow problem. It'd just be the display room only. But that's the only thing I really wanted to say about that. Just to clarify, that's what it's actually for.
And what's your address again?
109 Bradley Drive.
Same place.
So you all live in the same house? Okay.
Yes, yes, sir.
That's what I was
Yes, sir.
thinking.
That's my son.
I think y'all relatives, right?
Alright. Does anybody else have any questions or comments in the audience, wish to speak?
We had 3, 4 calls. They were first against anything like that, but they thought it was gonna be a pool hall. You know, and after we discussed it, it still kinda indicated to me, the ones I talked to, that they was very much against it, but I see them with no one showing up, that it could have changed a heart or with the effort.
Have you talked to any of your neighbors?
I had
About your
one
plan?
neighbor beside of me, I think it's at,
Oh, there's one.
Oh, I know, I would call.
Oh, okay.
I don't know her. I don't know.
the one right over to the right of me, right there, resident there.
Yeah, too, I talked to your neighbor.
And, he was just concerned that, there was gonna be a pool hall, a gambling casino, and I said it's nothing like it, I wouldn't have that in the first place in my house. I said it's just a display room only, and that's it. I mean, and he never just asked, say no more about it, and that's all he was concerned about, and that was it.
And those calls came from the certified letters that we sent to the neighbors. I don't think we really got any calls after the sign went up.
Okay. So. Do you have anything else you wanna add, or does anybody have any more questions for Mr. Jackson? Anybody? If not, I'll open the floor for a motion.
Well, I'm on the, put a motion we approve to let him have his conditional use permit, along with the stipulation that if it does become a traffic problem, the neighbors start calling in and saying he's got 5 cars or whatnot, and making it a pool hall, we revisit the whole thing and maybe turn them down later. But it is gonna be what the gentleman says it's gonna be, selling to pool halls. I doubt he's gonna sell many coin operated to families. Well, he knows better than I do. But to have a showroom and try to get a business going that maybe in 2 years is going and he gets a storefront someplace, it doesn't hurt to try. But if traffic does become a problem and neighbors start calling into the county, we can look at it and maybe say he needs to stop his operation if that becomes a problem.
Okay, so the motion's for approval based on the stipulation that he has limited traffic, and that's something you all will look at once a year? Is that how you all do that?
Correct.
Okay.
Is that the only condition that?
Is that the only condition you want?
Are you gonna,
Let me just,
well,
I don't mean to interrupt you, but we have to spell it out pretty specifically for the county attorney's office. They want the direct language as far as what conditions you want on this permit. I mean, that's, just to say if traffic starts getting bad, we'll look at it, is not gonna be specific enough for the county attorney's
okay,
office.
I get you,
Yeah,
I get
so
you.
we need what your conditions are.
yeah.
Like hours of operation.
Hours of
signage.
operation, lighting, signage.
I was gonna bring the sign up next.
Okay,
but-
I just kinda got into that.
We got into
more-
that last time.
Last time,
Yeah.
yeah. To be more specific.
Whew. Damn.
So for discussion yet?
Well, Paul's making a motion.
I'm still motion that we approve, no sign at all, just the address. Trying to get, I mean, that road is narrow, I don't know how much space he has to park people in the driveway either, or how many local cars he has.
He's got room for 4+.
So how do you, can we say as long as no one's parking on the street?
Any condition you like.
You can say
Well,
whatever you
I
want
mean,
to, we just
that
gotta say.
keeps the street, that keeps, the-
Suggested.
that, I mean, cause that street's not wide, that keeps the movement going on the street. So if no one's parking on the street,
So no signage. You have an hours?
Or I guess hours could be, as far as actually coming to the premise, I guess phone would be different, I would assume, correct?
You gonna do business hours?
8 to 5?
That sounds pretty good, but there's a concern about the school bus comes up and down there
Mm-hmm.
a lot. 8 to 3. I was thinking 8 to 3 because the school bus comes around about 3 o'clock, something like that.
More power to you.
Or you want less hours?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything, it sounds like would be by appointment only if they're doing most work on the phone or the internet. To come in anyway.
Can you stipulate appointment only?
Oh, no, can you, go ahead, Mr.
Can you
Rogers, do that.
Can you stipulate appointment, by appointment only?
Well, you could, but then what if somebody makes an appointment at midnight?
Yeah.
Then that technically he would be.
During those hours, during those
Technically,
hours,
he would be with, yeah,
during those hours.
and, I mean, you all can suggest or stipulate anything you want, but we just got to have it specific. So if you wanna stipulate appointment only, one appointment at a time, one appointment a day maximum, 5 appointments a week, whatever the condition is, that's fine, but it just has to be black and white, it can't be ambiguous.
So the only two conditions I hear from you right now are no signage and hours 8 to 3. What was the other
No
condition?
street parking.
No street parking. Okay, so those,
So it keeps people off the street, because the street's not that wide. I don't understand, the buses are going up, down there, you can't get two vehicles past each other.
okay, so your motion right now is for approval, based on the stipulation that they maintain business hours from 8 to 3. There's no signage at all and no street parking. Does everybody understand that?
What about the traffic? That's too ambiguous, the way he was putting that in. I thought so too.
So those are the 3 conditions. Anybody got anything else? Or anything else you wanna add to that? I just wanna make sure we're all on the same page, understanding the same thing. So everybody understands that motion? If that's his motion, you don't wanna add anything else to it, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Alright, you wanna call the roll?
Mr. Paul Melius,
Yes,
Mr. Wayne Pinkowski,
No.
Mr. Howard Bowden,
Yes.
Mr. Jimmy Rogers,
No.
Mr. George Dillon.
No.
Motion fails
Motion fails,
3 to 2.
3 to 2.
So this time, they put denied you.
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright,
He wants to come back to operate his business without the pool tables there.
Well,
He will just come back again on that?
yeah, we can talk to him about that after,
Yeah.
after we're done here, if y'all want.
Okay.
so, is there any other business?
Any,
Anything else? Anybody got anything?
Yes, did we talk about the time when we passed the Kona Ice conditional use to, remember that guy with the 4 trucks or whatever?
Right.
He ended up not buying the property, so didn't have.
Okay. Kinda good.
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 Not bad.
Yeah, good, glad to hear it.
And he's got money to pay.
Fellas, I am concerned about being that residential area like that. And I don't care if he's just operating out of his home with no displays, I might consider it. But right now, that's a residential area there.
We've had the motions, we're gonna discuss it, but
Okay,
anyway,
all right.
so.
So, if there's no other business, I'll adjourn the meeting. We'll call it quits.
Mr. Wayne Pinkowski, motion to, oh, y'all.
We don't do a motion.
No, we don't do a motion.
We're adjourned.
We're adjourned.
Now we talk.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah, I think we did say something. I mean,
Yeah, get that turned up.
I think we've got to be careful about the precedent that we set for neighborhoods and,
I'm concerned. I really am.
you know, went out there, it was very narrow, it was actually congested when I was out there. There was a fair amount of traffic in and
I
out.
think the motion should have been made, it should have been second, then with Carol, That's the best thing we can do right there.
Yeah,
After a motion has been made and seconded, can it be reopened for discussion?
Supposed to be, right? Right?
well,
Right?
having
No?
it split, it's great.
Doesn't work. No.
So then
we-
it's
we
voted
just-
on.
no.